but not in Derry town.
Wow. Hey guys, I'm Jordan.
I am still Scotty. I will remain Scotty.
He will always be Scotty. And this is the film...
Oops, I need to rename myself Snoop Dogg.
What? Why?
Oh, no, I'm lying now.
Oh, God damn.
I'm back to Scotty.
Are you sure you're not Prince? How about the artist formerly known as the artist Prince?
I'm still alive.
Yeah. He's right here in the studio, guys.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been, Scotty? We're actually recording 2 episodes today. So we've just recorded the last one you guys have been listening to, and now we're moving on to the next one because that's how committed we are to this podcasting shit.
I am slightly more entertained by Bill Hader since the last podcast.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He is a very entertaining individual. Very entertaining. Who was the last answer for the trivia? Scotty?
Oh, I can't remember. It was only like 30 seconds ago I did the question.
Son of a bitch.
It's Tim Rice.
Thank you.
No, it's not.
No,
it's Tim Curry.
Tim Rice?
I was trying to catch you out and I got you.
Tim Rice? I was waiting for Tim, and I was like, yeah, okay, Tim, he's got it. Oh, no, you son of a bitch. Yeah. I guess they do go together.
Yeah, it's true. The first thing I saw Tim Curry in was him playing Long John Silver.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw
Captain Hook.
him... Actually, the first time I heard him was in The Wild Thornberrys.
Oh, okay.
As the dad.
Yes.
Hello, Bobby.
Smashing.
Smashing.
I mean, that's...
Or as the Pokemon memes would have you believe, splashing. I love those.
Oh,
Those are so good.
Splashing is great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
He was also in Annie. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, wow. All right, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to direct your attention straight to the podcast.
You can follow us on.
You can follow us on a bunch of different places like iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, all those delicious places where good podcasts can be found.
They're definitely edible.
It's late at night, guys. I am really, really tired.
He needs his ice cream.
No, I don't. I shouldn't have ice cream. That's really bad for me. All right, let's get into this podcast. Let's do this. Do you have anything to say before we jump in?
It.
Well done. That's all. Yeah, okay. Pack up, everyone. We're leaving. Nice. Here it is.
Jordan, penny for your thoughts?
I don't know. I think it'd be wise of me to keep it to myself for now.
Okay.
Until we, get down and deep into the mess.
So what you're saying, it's not something special?
Well, it certainly is it. It is certainly different to anything else that has come before it, if indeed anything has come before it.
I guess chapter 2 just doesn't cut it.
Terrible puns aside, guys, we saw It Chapter 2, obviously.
DOS.
Yep.
We had a dose of DOS.
I
had fun. I had fun in the cinema.
No, I did. It was fun.
So before we go into what we thought of the movie, we actually enjoyed our experience at the cinema,
Yeah.
regardless of anything else.
Yeah, and it wasn't because of the people we watched it with. Like there was nobody
No.
else really in the cinema.
No.
But it was fun. It's a fun movie that I think also it's to its detriment that it is as fun as it is.
I mean, yeah.
Because, I mean, if you've read the book, if you know the original story of It, the novel by Stephen King, you know that it deals with a lot of very dark themes.
Yes.
Very, very dark themes. And while it does, even the book has splashes of comedy in it, a lot of it is more of a coming of age drama. More than
it's a Stephen King book. Most
exactly.
of them are.
And I know a lot of people tend to lump him in with horror, but he's not a typical horror writer.
He's not really like a crime writer or a slasher writer or
even a supernatural horror writer. He's not like really that
either. So yeah.
He's a genre all of his own, and while he does dabble in horror, it's not his only niche.
No, and often the horror is about coming of age, or it's about situational horror. It's not about fear itself. And funnily enough, this could be described as the one that's about fear or horror the most. But even then, that's not the most important theme in it.
No, I mean and this came out after the first one came out, It Chapter 1, back in 2017. When it came out, a lot of horror fans didn't like it because it wasn't. It's not a horror film, you know. I didn't get scared. I didn't do this. But it's a film. It's a film that plays on the empathy of the audience more than anything else.
Well, the thing is, whenever someone says they're not scared of something, I mean, that's all subjective. It's like comedy. It's like what scares you and what makes you laugh.
But even then, like, why? We can just ask the question: why do these people watch horror films to begin with?
Yeah.
Like, what is the purpose behind watching them? If the purpose behind watching them is to get an adrenaline rush, then, well, you're not really watching it because it's a horror film. You're watching it because of the jump scares that you get that pump your heart. If you're watching it because you identify with the fears of the characters and you want to explore that, not just in the characters on the screen, but for yourself, or even if you just want to see that played out, then yeah, you're watching a horror film.
I feel like all the world is shouting at horror movies that you're a genre film, when seriously the horror film is like, we're not a genre film, we're lots of different things.
Well, take for instance the Australian reaction to Hereditary.
Or lack of. Well, no. Well, that's the thing, though. It's like a lot of Australian audiences were like that, but a lot of them weren't. I mean, I saw in a massive packed theater, and everyone walked out of there thoroughly enjoying the movie. So,
well, that's good. That's good for you guys. I just remember reading, like, if you go anywhere on Facebook right now, anywhere at all, the comments section for the producers of Hereditary, the Australian branch of the marketing team for that, is all negative, complete negative. They just hate the movie, which is it's really. I feel like Australia, and this could go for the whole Western world, to be honest. But I feel like I think
it's a certain group who write Facebook comments. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's certain echo chambers that are loud.
It seems like it seems like there's just a real huge disconnect between people and empathy, just in general. Not just with film, but politics is a huge one where there's a disconnect between empathy and actual people. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing when that stuff happens to decent films, especially like stuff like It Chapter 1, Hereditary, It Follows. That's the one I was thinking of. It Follows. But yeah, so
The Babadook.
Yeah, The Babadook. The Witch. Another very underrated film.
I suspect The Lighthouse will have the same problems when it comes out.
Yep. Oh, it's in 4:3. Why would I watch 4:3? That's just lame. Oh, it's in black and white. Oh, I don't want to see that.
I showed that trailer to my mum and my brother, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to see this in theaters."
Yeah. I hope it's going to be in theaters in Australia. I do not believe it will be in theaters in Australia.
It's the sort of film I might track down though.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just
very
aware.
I tracked Hereditary down, and if it wasn't for going, I'd have to go into the middle of Sydney to have seen Midsummer. I don't think it's even screening anymore.
No, it was out for a week or two.
Yeah, it was
pathetic, Australia.
Flash in the pan.
Pathetic, Australia.
I couldn't
Get your act together.
I couldn't see it in a theater that screens Indian movies all the time. Like that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah, like Bollywood, but that's it. It's money. Money talks.
Yeah.
Money talks. But at the same time, there are some theaters that you actually do have to pitch to in order to get your film through the door, which is stupid.
No, it's kind of strange.
Because they're getting money too. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, and very disappointed in the Australian marketing system for films. Actually, just the Australian film.
I feel this is we could just 3 hours of Jordan complaining about. Yeah,
awful. The choices where they put their money is just
the last 3 or 4 Australian movies that have come out, it's just sad.
Yeah, there's only maybe one out of all of those in the last year.
So there's that recent
two
war movie that looks like it's generic as fuck.
And it might be good, but at the same time, Australia only knows 3 different types of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Rom-com, war movie, and horror. Those are the 3 movies that Australians know how to make.
The horror ones are sometimes good.
Yeah, but they churn them out like crazy. I was so disappointed when that zombie one came out and everyone was like hyping it up and stuff like that. The low rent, the budget one.
I never saw it, so.
Don't bother. It's stupid. I'm sorry if you like that. I'm sorry to the creators, but it's not that good. It's
that
not
was
that
probably
good.
A budget movie, though.
Yeah,
and so it's like it wasn't aiming for the mass.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I can understand.
So those niche people,
it's just not. It's just not for me.
You, yeah.
It's not my thing. It's something that because I'm like I want to see Australians make high
intelligence,
high art. I want them to make high concept art. I'm sick of us just prancing around the most common lowest denominator.
Well, did you like
films.
Daybreakers or what's the one with where Hawke? What's his name?
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
The time travel one where
that one and Daybreak. Is it Daybreakers?
Yeah, they're all made by the same brothers.
Yeah,
2 brothers.
They're good.
Friend of mine and someone you know, actually, I'm not going to say their name. Actually, I will. Anthony.
Yeah.
He worked on set of their first film.
Mm-hmm.
He was working as like a first AD and just helping them do stuff.
He's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude. He knows his stuff.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to Ant. He gave me a couple of his old filmmaking books from when he was at film school.
That's nice.
So yeah, I've been perusing them, perusing. Yeah.
Flick a page here, flick a page there.
But yeah, no, it's those kinds of things happen once in a blue moon, and quite often those directors leave Australia after their first big hit and never come back.
Yeah.
Spierig Brothers, that's their name. Spierig Brothers are an exception to the rule, but even they recently did that haunted house movie that was trash. Absolute trash.
I don't even know what it is.
It's bad.
Okay.
It's really bad. It stars Helen Mirren.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that was pretty bad.
Terrible. Studio film.
Yeah, that sounds like a studio film.
Yeah, and it's just it's not that I don't think they had any part of it being a bad film. It's just one of those things that you take a job, you do the job, finish the job.
Yeah.
But I'm just sick and tired of us either making like circling the drain of the lowest common denominator, or just making boring, dull, loud production films.
Why can't they have a happy medium?
Why can't Australians make our own like Marvel Cinematic Universe that is on par quality-wise, not budget-wise. I don't give a shit about the budget, but quality-wise with that. Like, why can't we devote our time to developing character as opposed to just putting something flashy on the screen?
Well, we try for some characters, but the characters we choose are... Like I was going to say, it's like there's that romance film, Top End Wedding.
Yeah, Top End Wedding.
Which is like
I haven't seen it. Marketing campaign was terrible for it.
Oh yeah, it looked the trailers. I mean, it looked like shit.
Yeah, the trailers made it look bad, but apparently it's not a bad film.
Yeah, the Storm Boy, which apparently was
terrible.
Yeah.
Also with the Jeffrey Rush
things going on at the same
things
time,
going on in the public eye, it has not made the publicity for that film any easier.
No.
But to be honest, it doesn't look like that film was any good to begin with.
No. I mean, what's his face in it? What's the name of that guy?
The guy who played
Forgettable. And I mean that both in terms of me forgetting right now and
John McClane's son in the shittest Die Hard movie.
Yes, Mr. Forgettable.
Oh, I can't remember his name either. He was in like Neighbours or something.
He was in Suicide Squad too, and apparently
he was the best part of Suicide Squad.
Mr. Forgettable, you're the best part of Suicide Squad. Congratulations.
Oh dear.
Poor James Gunn.
Yeah, I mean he was handed
Okay, I'm gonna segue straight into what we're talking about.
I was gonna segue. I was he was handed like a dead clown that he was supposed to resuscitate.
I was gonna say he's doing a sequel, and this is a sequel.
It is a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
In fact, that was my first comment. This is a sequel.
In every meaning of that word.
Yeah.
And to its detriment, I feel.
It is massively detrimental.
It's fun though, like, because I'm a big fan of the book, so I've read it at least twice, and it's a very, very good read. If you haven't read it, please go and read it because it's a good movie.
Go read the script.
Go read the script.
It's not very long.
But please, go read the book rather, because the book is fantastic. But how the book paces itself is, it's really strong. It's really, really strong.
But the ending sucks.
Come on, don't throw that old chestnut in.
I felt like it. The film makes reference to it, which is funny.
Yes, it does. Even though I disagree with that whole consensus that the ending sucks. This film is problematic on several levels. Number one, pacing. Pacing is pretty atrocious.
Yeah, we wrote it's like it has many endings and then it has many middles.
It has many beginnings as well.
Yeah.
But that's by design. I actually like the first half of this film.
It was
more than the last half.
Even though it has more boring moments, it does.
It's got more character moments.
Yeah. That's also but it's also extremely structured in them as well.
Yeah.
It's almost video game format.
And there is a stark contrast between the flashback scenes to the kids, because we do see the kids again. Flashback scenes to the kids, and then the current day scenes, I guess you can call them. Very stark differences, not just in tone, but also in the quality of writing.
It felt like the actors of the modern day characters were haunted by the flashbacks of the past.
Yeah, and not in a good way.
No, they were sort of forced into becoming They were almost caricatures in some respect. I mean, James McAvoy with the stutter and stuff. Like, he's giving his all, but
he's doing well. But at the end of the day, he's just doing what the other actor, what's his name?
James Ransoni. Oh, the younger
Jaden Lieberer did with in the first film. By the way, all of the flashback sequences were filmed during when they filmed the first one, which is I think is a good planning move, definitely. Yeah. You don't want those kids to get any older during that time.
But sometimes you take one step forward and two steps back. So
yeah, well, but that's it. These scenes, because I think they were written and directed back then, they work, narratively speaking, far better than the scenes that were shot and filmed specifically for this part. You know what I mean?
The other point, the adult scenes are like, as opposed to the flashbacks being glued.
They're dead on arrival, to be honest. They're really dead on arrival, and they're
posing scenes. Most of them are posing scenes. It's actually really funny.
They're often standing around rooms talking to each other. And then Pennywise does something frightening, and then they survive, and then that's the end of that scene. Let's move on to the next one. And I was just really frustrated with the character of Eddie as an adult.
I wasn't as much as you.
I just feel like
I think
there was no like with Bill, we see him progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, outside of the town, he's become better. He's become like stronger. He's lost his stutter, and then he slowly regains it when he goes back to Derry, which makes sense because you know this stuff has been haunting them for years, and because they've put it under the rug, it's coming back out again, which makes sense. And you've also got Beverly, who is she's in a relationship in an abusive relationship.
She and Eddie have done the same thing. Is that they've taken partners who are echoes of their terrible parents. Yeah,
but I don't feel like. I feel like Beverly has progressed while she's been away, even ever so slightly, whereas Eddie hasn't at all. He is the same character.
See, I feel like even though they've lost all their memories of what happened, I feel like they're all chained by their past still.
Oh yeah, no, they are. I just feel like I just feel like the adult version of Eddie was trying to copy the young version of Eddie too much, if that makes sense. Like, not just in.
I thought he was slightly different.
Not just in performance, but also in how he was directed and how it was shot.
I think how the direction comes into it a lot, and also I think he's the shortest of the actors, which doesn't help him at all.
Well,
either.
there's a reason.
Yeah.
For that is because but I just feel like because there's scenes in it that aren't supposed to be like I don't feel they're supposed to be funny, but end up coming across as funny.
No.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't really work.
Mike he feels like a bit of a dead fish as well.
Yeah,
and he's a plot character in this as well.
Well, yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a massive plot character. He's the reason. Like, he's basically the reason why everyone comes back to Derry and they're like, oh, okay, what's happening? And
I actually think his best acting performance was in the final phone call.
Which one?
The final phone call in the movie when he's talking to Bill, James McAvoy.
Oh, you mean the very end?
Yeah.
The very, very
end. That's his best performance in the whole movie.
That's honestly the best scene of that character in the whole thing.
Which is sad because it's a false ending.
And then there are so many endings, but there's like so many just dumb character choices.
Yeah, by everyone.
Weren't in the book that frustrate me. That really frustrated me. Like
and just to clarify, this isn't because they changed it from the book. This is because it's dumb in the movie.
Yeah. Because in the book we have all of these characters and similar things. Like Beverly is in an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In this version of it, that relationship is almost treated like a red herring.
Yeah. No.
Which annoyed me because it's like, don't do this. Don't try and pretend like this isn't happening. Like it felt like they were trying way too hard.
Oh, they're putting it in one scene as well
to pull the wool over our eyes of the audience, and it doesn't work.
But certain cinema goers would probably appreciate that.
Yeah. Certain ones that fall asleep in theaters and can't remember.
I yawned near the end of this movie.
I was tired, physically tired, about 3/4 of the way in.
Okay.
So not too bad.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, Bill Hader is in this film,
and he keeps it together a lot.
He is the heart of the movie, I feel, in terms of
and
the
actual
Club.
And also the genuine comedy of what's going on too.
He's so funny. But I also think that part of that is to this film's detriment because he is also hilarious in some of the scenes in this film that are supposed to be frightening.
A lot of them are
like when the deadlights come out and it's just like he gets he's halfway through speaking and he gets caught by the deadlights and it's the funniest thing.
It's meant to be dramatic and
so
high
funny.
tension, but it's like
it's so funny, but it still works.
Yeah.
But it doesn't at the same time just because of where that scene is. If that scene was earlier before the confrontation, like I was kind of expecting because he didn't really have a confrontation with it.
No, he has a half one and just runs away.
Yeah. He like one where Pennywise floats down with the balloons and lands in front of him, and then that's it. And like it wasn't really a solid scene for him.
It was like a build-up scene to something else, which never came to. Instead,
and I kind of wanted that.
His later scene is actually a good scene in the synagogue, but that's not because that's not necessarily for him. That's for that's Chase. Is it Chase? Stanley, yeah.
It's for Stanley. Also, that was Andy Bean. He plays the adult Stanley Uris. In the very small amount of scenes that he is in, he was a highlight for me.
Yeah, no, he was good.
There was when he gets the call from Mike first, and he picks it up, and he seems like he's really happy, like he's enjoying life.
Jordan was hilarious during this.
And as soon as he answered it, you can see this transformation across his face where he realized the implications of what was going on, and he knew what he had to do.
Yeah, no spoilers, but...
No spoilers. But, but yeah, if you read the book, you know what happens. And that was really refreshing in a way because it added a little bit more depth. And I was kind of I shed a little bit of a tear when stuff happened for that character. And even though it happens earlier on in the film, and even though we're only just introduced to this adult version of this character, it still hits pretty hard.
Yep. I think that's weirdly enough what the movie needed the most was more interaction between the 7 of them. And we get them huddled together, but when they're actually interacting together. Also, I'm sorry, but the way they did the kiss stuff.
Oh, the love triangle in
didn't
general.
work at all.
Waste of time.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
Which is a shame, because it could have been done well.
Well,
but...
this is the thing. This film has been dumbed down.
Yeah.
Massively. The first part, it wasn't dumbed down at all, which is surprising for me. I expected this movie to take it to the next level, because in the first one, they did take it to some pretty dark places, which is fantastic, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
But now that they're adults, I expected them to push the envelope a bit more.
We wanted this movie to be grown up.
Yeah.
But this movie's still back with the kids, really.
It
hasn't grown
back. It's further back.
It hasn't grown up.
I think it's de-aged.
Yeah.
I think it's become less, more immature.
Like a deflated clown with its heart ripped out?
Yeah, like a deflated clown with its heart ripped out.
Do you like that? I just came up with that on the fly.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
You should be a writer for this movie. The what was I going to say? There was something I was going to say.
Pennywise?
Not enough Pennywise, to be honest.
There wasn't enough Pennywise, and the few things we get from him don't make sense.
No. Because in the first film, we get these great scenes of Skarsgård just losing it, and it freaking works. Like, it looks great.
And there are a couple of moments where he gets to do that, and it still is good, but there's not enough of them.
No, there isn't.
Instead, we get Here's Johnny, which makes me laugh.
That annoyed me. Like, I know it's Stephen King.
Yeah.
But that annoyed me. That was like, oh, we can't take ourselves seriously, so let's just do this for fun. And I was like, no, these are adults. If you want to scare adults, don't make it a fucking joke.
No.
Take it seriously. That's what I didn't like about this movie, is it treated a lot of those big issues that we were introduced with in the first film and made them a joke. Like, for instance, in the book, Beverly not only has sex with Ben, and also with what's his face, James McAvoy's character, Bill. She has sex with all of them.
Yeah.
When they're like 13.
Yeah.
All right, and I know you can't do that at all in film. Like, that's a big no-no. However, you could at least have made it age appropriate,
or made allusions to it,
or made allusions to it. Like, we get allusions to how her father raped her in the first one.
Yeah.
You would be blind to not be able to see that.
And there are some allusions to it in this one again. But
I think there's bigger implications in that just one scene in this film than there is in the previous one.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that other film, all of the scenes shot with the kids, far better than anything that was shot with the adults in this movie.
It felt rushed, and they had 2 years to do it, so it shouldn't.
There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. But as I was saying, like, when they're adults, Beverly has sex with both Ben and Bill.
Yeah.
Both of them, when they're adults.
The Flower Pot Man.
But in this movie, it's just a peck on the lips.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, at least allude to it. Don't fuck us around with this shallow emotional crap. Like, get in deep there.
Build up and then have Pennywise come out of the cupboard. At least do something interesting.
That was another thing that I didn't like about this. Pennywise was everywhere.
Yeah.
But nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That annoyed me, because in the books, it's the threat of him just around the corner, not him actually being there.
Yeah.
It's him under the bridge. It's him in the sewer grate. It's him, you're not seeing him. You are anticipating seeing him. And that build-up of the fear factor of what he is, or it is what's frightening. It's not the jump scares. It's not him jumping out. It's not him floating across a field with red balloons in his hands. It's that waiting process of you going, what's he going to do next? And then sometimes being disappointed in knowing that he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then he pops up somewhere else. Like, this...
I actually liked the prison break. Build up to the prison break, even though ultimately that character doesn't really go anywhere, and it's kind of a letdown. But the way the balloon floated across, that was well done. Yeah. It was. I didn't like how they introed to that, because we start with the younger version of him, the bully. We didn't need that. I can't even remember his name now. Henry Bowers. That's him.
Sorry. Henry Bowers, being in the mental asylum institution, whatever you want to call it. Disappointing character. Meh. Doesn't really do much.
I kind of liked his driver though. That was kind of fun.
The corpse of his friend.
It was amusing.
Which was in the book. It's in the book. But in the book, it's a lot more terrifying.
Yeah.
Bowers in the book is not he is insane. He's clinical. But he's not some trope.
No.
He's not a mumbling, walking around in circles, and I just gotta kill them all, and I just gotta kill them all, and I just gotta kill them all. He wants me to kill him. He wants me to kill him. No, he's not like
There's
that.
nothing to him.
There is this fantastic scene in the book, and it's at night, right? It's at night, and he is lying in his bed, and he looks out the window because he swears he hears something speaking to him. And he can't find anything, so he looks back. And then he looks back out the window, and it's alluded to, because it's at night, the moon looks like a giant red balloon in the sky. And so he starts conversing with the moon. And that's the first instance that he has any interaction with Pennywise as an adult. And so he's talking to the moon in the middle of the night, and then he hears something from underneath his bed. And out crawls his one of his best friends from when he was a kid. Except he's like a corpse now. Which was in the film, but it's glazed over so quickly in the film, and it's only played for cheap scares.
Yeah,
and that's what frustrated me the most. Is all of the good stuff that was in the book for these chapters, was just played for cheap.
Yeah, and
I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed. Especially given how good the first one was, as well. Because that first film, Chapter 1, is probably the best Stephen King
adaptation
that has ever been put to cinema, aside from The Shining.
Not the new Pet Sematary?
Oh no, not the new Pet Sematary. Oh, whatever will we do about the new Pet Sematary, where the whole point of the film is not to exercise your personal demons, but to just give in and do whatever the hell you want? Yeah, that sounds about the same as the novel, right? That's a good story to tell.
I'm glad you think so.
Fucking amateurs.
I've written down another couple of words in reference to Pennywise in this. Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Tim
Curry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not the Tim Curry performance, but Tim Curry himself.
Or just Beetlejuice.
Just Beetlejuice, yeah.
That's what he was in this movie. He wasn't like he was almost a slapstick comedian character. And I appreciated the one scene that we got where we actually saw Skarsgård without the makeup.
Yeah, that was good actually.
That was really good. That was the only scary part about that
was the
scene.
Other thing. Actually, there was something else I wrote down. It's like, where's the backstory to Pennywise? I felt like we were going to get more of it. And then we
especially after the first film, because the first film had all of these little clues and tidbits and stuff.
And then
we get it like I went to a Indian people and they told me everything, and now
it was so annoying.
This is what we're gonna do. Instead, we didn't learn. There are so many frustrating things about this that could have made this film worthwhile and interesting to watch, but they blew it all in favor of making it for cheap scares and also cheap laughs as well.
Yeah, and Beetlejuice. I mean, it was entertaining. That was the weird thing, though.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
There's so many problems with it, but
it was at the end of the day, it was quite fun to.
I never want to
watch.
I don't really want to see it again.
I won't.
And also, I don't like if I don't think I'd ever go It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2. I might do it once just to see if they go back to back. But
what I'd like to
not.
do is I would like to edit the whole thing into a seamless movie, because I feel like the strength of Chapter 1, if it's edited and paced appropriately with Chapter 2, so you're overlaying,
doing it the book way.
Yeah, doing it the book way, I think it would work better.
Okay.
I think it would work as an overall film, because you have more Pennywise in the first one than you do in the second one. And on top of that, you can edit out all of the shitty, boring, dull shit that doesn't need to be there in the second part.
Yeah. So all the adult stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can still keep some of the adult stuff.
I'm kind of curious if there is more that was filmed on, like, with the adult stuff.
It certainly feels like there should be.
It feels like, and then they just edited it down. Because it was long.
Yeah, it was. Like, it was almost 4 hours. Oh, it felt like it was almost 4 hours.
It was 3 hours, 2.5 hours, I think.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
I don't think it needed to be that either.
No, it really didn't.
The film never really committed to its own rules.
Yeah, no, you're right. It said one thing and then it did another, and not for a good reason.
It looked like it was going to set up scares, the fear of all 7 main characters. Then it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It just gives us.
And then we got this weird thing of what's his face, Richie, keeping a secret from everybody, and Pennywise teasing him about this secret,
And that never comes to anything.
and then nothing comes out of it. Like, they don't even allude to what it could. Well, they kind of do. Yeah. I think it's because, like, oh, he's gay. That's why it's a secret.
That's the thing. The first scene is like,
but it doesn't.
It's rather frustrating, actually.
It's very frustrating, and it's stupid. Like, it doesn't commit.
No.
It lays things out and then it doesn't commit.
It has a couple of moments where, like, okay, this could be scary, and okay, this.
It's like that friend that says, if you're moving house, you say you tell your friends you're moving house, and one of them's like, oh yeah, no, I'll come and help you out. And then the day comes when you're moving, and then no show, and you call them up, and then they're like, oh yeah, sorry man, I got some other things I need to do, but really they're just home playing PlayStation.
Okay, that's the same specific person.
You know who you are. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the equivalent of a film saying something and then going back on it and not actually committing to it. And this is exactly what this film does. It doesn't commit to anything.
So I want to ask you a question. I was going to ask you what's the plot, but no. What was Pennywise?
I don't know. They lost it.
What was its plan? What was Pennywise's plan?
Well, it seemed pretty clear in chapter 1.
Yeah.
But chapter 2 comes along and it's, what? It makes no sense. Like, in chapter 1, the whole point is that he wakes up. It's like he's like a bear.
Yeah.
He wakes up from hibernation, feeds, and then goes back to sleep.
Yep.
In chapter 2, who knows what it wants? It doesn't even know what it wants. Like, it's not. It doesn't wake up to feed. It wakes up to get the losers back together so it can kill
itself.
Kill them or kill what? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It wants them to come back, and then they come back to kill it. So really, it should never come back.
I don't know. I can't remember from the book, okay? Yeah. But I do not recall reading anywhere in the book where Pennywise writes in blood, come home, to get them to come home.
No.
He wants them to stay away because if they stay away, then this anxiety and depression that he's infected them with will get them to kill themselves anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
And also, Mike is there to try and bring them all together again.
Yeah, and it's kind of like deleting his need to be there to begin with.
He doesn't have any purpose whatsoever. Even, like, he has pointless exposition.
Yeah.
That's about it. Which has some nice visuals, I guess.
Meh.
It's meh.
Meh. Absolute meh.
And it makes Bill more annoying as well, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
Because all of that hard work, because he does do, James McAvoy does fantastic acting here.
With what he's given, yeah.
And he slowly starts stuttering as we go through the film, like more and more and more and more.
Yes, that's actually well
fantastic.
done. Yeah.
Really well done. And on top of that, I don't know if you noticed this, but only 2 characters, their hair started going grayer and grayer as they had more interactions with Pennywise. Mm-hmm. But it was only Bill and Ben.
Yeah. The Flower Pot Men.
But why? Why just them? Like, it's so inconsistent. Mm-hmm. It's so inconsistent, and it frustrates me.
Also, Ben really didn't have much to do, which is a shame as well.
He's just a pretty face shows up.
It's like, hey, I'm not fat.
Yeah, look at me. I'm amazing.
I'm the elephant in the room.
No longer the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot to do aside from be
a love interest.
No, he was only there because she had the letter from him. That was it. That's the only reason why he was there. In the first one, he's a character all of his own. He gets bullied. Yeah. He's a new kid. You know, he's got so much.
Well,
of
his
that
flashback scene for the younger kid, that's great.
Yeah.
That's not for the adult, really. It's like...
No.
It's just a memory, and that was kind of annoying.
It was very annoying. It was dull. It was boring. It was... bleh.
I wanted more. I wanted more out of a lot of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, what would you want more of if we, like, think back?
I wanted them to do more with the adult characters and have the way they interact with each other.
Yeah.
Also, I think it'd be cool if they had some they're estranged friends. They'd have some new unique quirks, and the way they interact would be interesting and different.
Well, like in the book, I'm pretty sure they've all developed weird ways to cope with their PTSD.
Yeah.
Like they do things differently than they did before.
I think Eddie was the closest to having something like that when he was talking in the car, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah. But like, my biggest problem with Eddie was he felt the most like a caricature.
Yeah.
Of the original Eddie from the first.
But at least a caricature has character, unlike Ben.
Yeah, but I still didn't like it. And yeah, you're right. Ben was far worse,
Mike.
just because they didn't do anything. Nothing. They were there. You could have gotten cardboard cutouts and it would have had the same effect. But I also do feel like they didn't really think Mike's character through, even in the first one. Because in the first one,
he's the black obligatory character who doesn't.
But they don't even
first.
commit to that. Like,
no.
This is back, and even though they've time shifted it up like 20 years or whatever it was. Even then, there is still there's still racism now, but they don't commit to the racism of that time period because we got to be a little bit too it's not PC, you know?
No, that's the thing. This movie doesn't actually know what level of PC it should be.
Yeah, it just
that's the problem. It's not consistent.
Keeps wavering between different things. And what I wanted to see was I wanted us, and I think this would have made it more interesting for Mike's character if we saw his first interaction with Pennywise. Yeah, because his first interaction isn't at the meat. The butchers. It's before. It's he's in a field, and this giant bird starts trying to kill him, and it's terrifying. And he is like throughout the book, he's shown that he has always had a fear of birds. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
That's character development. That's like something is actually happening here, and they've completely ignored it. So like when they said, "Oh, we've got to go off and find our own totems and stuff to burn at the thing," we don't follow Mike at all. We follow everybody else.
Yeah.
Why are we following everybody else? Why aren't we following Mike? We should be following Mike as well. There are at least 2 exposition scenes that could have been cut entirely from this film to make room for more character development, and they completely ignored that.
Instead, Mike just gets attacked by someone, and then Bill Hader gets a cool scene.
Yeah, but did you see the totem he has? It's the freaking rock.
Yeah, it's the rock.
So it's nothing to do with him. That's Beverly's totem. That's not his. He picked it up from when Beverly chucked it at the bully, hit the bully on the head. Nothing to do with him.
I actually thought I misheard it at first. It was like, okay, so it's a bit of his burnt down house. No, okay, it's the rock. Why is it her rock? That's actually what I thought. It was like, oh, it's a bit of his burnt down house. No, it's a rock.
And out of all the characters, Mike has almost nothing to do with Pennywise.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, almost nothing. Absolutely, like he doesn't.
Also, they could have done interesting things with him because he stayed in Derry. He could have far more interesting quirks. Like he could be addicted to drugs.
He could be well in the book. He is.
Yeah.
He's neurotic. He's like, he's got a twitch. He's a broken man because he's been living in fear for the past 27 years. That is interesting.
Yeah.
We don't see that at all. And it's not because it wasn't like a character choice or anything like that. It's just something that they decided, oh, no, we can't be bothered. Let's just do it this way. I don't blame Mustafa, who's the actor that plays him.
No.
I'm sure he did his best.
He had nothing.
But he didn't have anything to work with, which is such a shame.
Also,
because as soon as he started talking in the opening scene, I kept thinking, I'm on a horse. Because he's from that ad, if you don't know. But yeah, very disappointing.
Also, the ending where they all jump off the thing like that was just like lame.
Yeah, and unnecessary.
They had a lot of lame stuff at the end, actually.
Very, it was so tasteless.
Yes.
And it was just...
And forced.
It was like, hey, you remember this from the first film, you remember this from the first film, you remember this from the first film. Let's just... It's kind of like they came up with 5 different endings. And instead of deciding, yeah, we'll go with one, they went... Oh, they're all just so good. Let's just do them all. Let's just all put
our film's not long enough already.
Stupid. Guys, make a decision. Don't. Like, one of the... I think it's...
If you cut it from them beating Pennywise and leaving the tunnel to the phone call at the end,
yeah,
I think it would work better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just see them all separated and reacting to the letter they get from a certain other character. That would have been better.
It would have been. It would have been. What do we got?
What do we got? Dead air is what we got. Also, when a certain character passes away, I felt random. Even though there was build up to it, I didn't feel like a sense of danger even as he died, which is kind of strange.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, but I also saw it coming a mile away.
Oh no, it was built up. There was
telegraphed.
It was extremely telegraphed.
Character didn't really grow.
No, that was the thing. Was like, in fact, he degraded to get to the point where they could telegraph it, which is kind of sad.
They diminished a character deliberately in order to make his death feel like a greater payoff in a way, but it wasn't because you downgraded the character, so we don't really feel anything for this character because you've taken all of the power it had and chucked it in the bin.
I felt more satisfied if the Pomeranian had killed him.
Yeah, there's a Pomeranian monster in this film, which
cute.
it subverts a lot of the stuff that it had in the first film.
Yeah.
Which was, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's a cool idea. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to do it all the time.
No.
You don't have to make everything a comedy all the time. And that was one of the biggest things. It's not committing to anything. It doesn't know what genre it is. It can't decide whether it's
trying to be coming of age, but they've already come of age. We need to...
Yeah. We need to move past that.
It's stuck in the past. It's stuck in the first movie.
Yeah, it's like
it's a bad
let's
sequel.
take all of these. Yeah, let's take all of these characters, keep them as children, but put them in adult bodies and make Ben hot, and then let's redo the first film. That's what this is.
I will say Jessica Chastain.
Chastain.
It is Chastain.
Yes,
she does look like a grown-up version of the actress.
The casting, in my opinion, is on point.
Yeah,
they have the looks of all of the cast. Especially, what's his name? Stanley.
Yeah.
They, what's
Andy
his face? Andy Bean looks a spitting image of the kid that plays.
And I think he was the most important one to get right as well.
Yeah, yeah. But, if you look at him direct on, you'll be like, yeah, that's him when he's grown up. 100%. It's great.
Mm-hmm. I want to have a bar mitzvah, but I'm not Jewish.
Why would you want a bar mitzvah?
Because it's fun. You get to eat Jewish food.
I also felt like that whole scene, the bar mitzvah scene, was so forced. I wasn't a fan.
I don't know why it was there.
I wasn't a fan.
It didn't feel like a necessary scene in the movie when we needed other necessary scenes.
No. Oh.
I did like the performances still though somehow.
No, yeah, the performances are they're perfect, really.
The kids, especially. Yeah.
The kids are amazing. Yeah. I mean,
we're kind of run out of things to say, which is kind of sad.
There's not much really left to say about this movie.
There's not much there.
I don't think it's worth watching without watching the first one.
No.
Immediately, straight away, and then watching the second one.
But even then, I was like, would you rather... That's the thing.
I would just rather watch the first one and leave it at that.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's it's unnecessary, which is the worst thing a movie can be.
Especially since the first one has so many unanswered questions.
Yeah.
That this film
doesn't really answer.
Doesn't answer at all. Mm-hmm. That's so
and we do not want a next one.
No. Please don't make chapter 3.
That was the
Unless
best.
You want to go back and remake chapter 2 and make it better. Don't make it.
That was actually the best thing is that they didn't end it with he's like a shadow of Pennywise.
I was actually really scared that they were going to do that. I was really worried that Mike was going to leave, and then as he's driving out, we see like a red balloon just float by the camera or something. I'd be like, oh, fuck off.
Or I mean, they could do a Pennywise prequel. That might be more interesting.
Well, they did the whole the Roanoke clan in the first film, where nobody knows where they went. I thought that was going to become a part of this because of the Native American Indian history behind it and stuff, and they just threw it away with him going and getting high with the Indians and then going on an acid trip.
And is that racist?
I think it is.
I think it's pretty racist.
To be honest, I think it is. Mm-hmm. At the very least, it's very callous and it's not smart.
No.
It's not. It doesn't. Yeah, it's not a good film. Not a good film.
There was one scene...
Watch for Bill Hader.
Yeah, and there was one scene that is reasonably scary, which is when the little girl goes underneath.
But that's a beat for beat shot and scene from the first film. Like it's almost identical to when Georgie gets taken.
Yep. And there's also a sequence with Bill where it's not scary, but what the themes of what are going on, him chasing after her to try and save a kid.
Yeah.
I liked that idea.
That whole sequence, the idea behind that sequence, fantastic. I love it. Execution,
not so much.
pathetic. Not good. Really boring.
Yeah.
Really dull.
But you were hilarious. So I have to say, I was watching. I was next to Jordan as we were watching.
Yeah,
it.
we were watching this together.
And when there were two moments that made me laugh, your reaction to it's the trailer scene.
Oh yeah,
the scene for the trailer.
The scene for the trailer. Everyone knows the creepy old lady.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Beverly knocks on the door, and I'm like, no. And
you know what's funny?
No, don't
it's
knock
more
on that door.
tense in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's better edited in the trailer.
That's insane, isn't it? Like, I was just. It felt like it was edited quicker in the film.
No,
it felt like it was edited
maybe,
quicker.
but at the same time, it
felt
had a
like
scene
there
in the
were
middle.
more breathing room. There was more breathing room in the trailer than there was in. Like, I know that there's an extra film where she goes, part of the scene where she goes and finds her old pack of cigarettes and the key and the letter in her old room. But everything aside from that felt like it was rushed in the film really quickly. And on top of that, it's just not scary when you... Like, I can see why they didn't put it in the trailer when the old lady comes running out.
Yeah.
Because it looks ridiculous.
It's hilarious. It's actually just funny. A lot of the CGI in this movie is funny at times.
It's so not frightening.
It's entertaining.
It's hilarious. Yeah. Honestly, it's like night and day between the first film and this film. Like, in the first film, you kind of buy the CGI because the kids are buying it. In this film, it doesn't matter if the adults are buying it. It's funny because it just looks... They've pushed it too far and they've gone into the ridiculous.
And the scariest thing of all is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles origin movie again.
Yeah. As soon as they stepped into the sewer, Scotty was like, "That's truly horrifying." There's a reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh dear. But yeah, I'd give this a 4 out of 10.
It's a bit generous, but yeah, probably at least 3 or 4.
Well,
it's entertaining.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader
brings it up.
We want to see Bill Hader in anything. So,
like, yeah, Bill Hader in this
he's in Trainwreck. He's in all these terrible movies, and still he's Bill Hader. So.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Honestly, if you're gonna watch it for Bill Hader, because he is the best part about this movie.
Yeah. There is another scene that's almost works. The Georgie scene. When actually anything involving Georgie, basically, that almost works. But it's
which one? There's like two. There's two of them.
Yeah, they both work. I think.
Okay, the one where okay.
But the problem is everything around them doesn't work as much.
Yeah. I think the only part of Bill's storyline that works is when he's trying to save that kid that he doesn't know.
Yeah,
that really works because it's part of his character. But that only happens for maybe a grand total of 4 to 5 minutes of the actual screen time, which is disappointing. It's disappointing. It's very disappointing.
You know what made me slightly hungry?
What?
The Chinese restaurant they go to. I was like, that doesn't look too shabby. I mean, I was full because we had a great lunch.
Yeah.
But I was like, that doesn't look too shabby. I wouldn't mind trying that. But then I lost my appetite when we saw Eddie's not flashback, after the flashback scene. Eddie gets the puke in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And that was another scene that made me laugh. It was just bad.
That was stupid. So they do something similar to the first film where you have the leper.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's vomiting everywhere and all that other stuff. Except this time they do a Deadpool, but they don't even commit to that. They do a Deadpool for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's a really weird choice.
It's a stupid choice.
Yeah.
It's a dumb choice. It doesn't
work.
make
it just
Actually,
odd.
That whole Eddie scene didn't need to be there.
No, it didn't. It didn't
at all
add to the movie at all.
We didn't need it to be there. We could have just had his childhood experience there, which would have worked. That was fine. That actually really worked.
No, we didn't even need that. We could have just had him buy the inhaler. That would and that scene, because that was disgusting.
Yeah.
And if he just left the store, that'd probably worked better.
Yep. Yep, we didn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Did not need it. Oh, well.
I mean, I do like the young Eddie actor, so...
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, he was a highlight for me for the first film.
I think,
actually, all of the kids were
Yeah, all the
highlights.
kids are great.
They're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. Love their performances. Love their chemistry as well.
Yeah,
they bounced off each other so well.
Once again, it's like that's what I wanted to see from the adults. I wanted to see chemistry.
Yeah, there's no chemistry from the adults.
No.
Maybe between Bill Hader and like 3 of the other cast.
Yeah,
but there's no.
But that's it. It's Bill Hader's character. It's Richie's character.
Yeah,
is what he has enough push and pull with the others, but no one else does.
No.
Everything else is just plot points. Well, I think we've stretched this topic as long as we can go.
Way too long. Honestly, we should have probably stopped 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And by this stage, it's probably going to be a shorter podcast anyway. So yeah, we'll take a break and then we'll come back with some, I guess, trivia.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Bye.
We packed up, we left, and then we came back again.
Yes, we did. Don't really give a shit if you didn't like that episode, guys, because you guys aren't here to tell us otherwise.
Wow.
So
I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's a weird thing. Like, we didn't rate this movie too highly, but we still had fun watching it and doing it. So
I think this movie would be more enjoyable with a large group of people because it is way funnier than the first one.
Yeah,
and it's not supposed to be.
Yeah,
so that makes it a group film. You know what I mean?
It's almost like the hilariosity mode.
Yeah, it's like Hilariosity went back and redid the first movie.
Yeah,
as almost a comedy. Yeah.
It's not a standalone, certainly not.
No. Remember, you can follow us on different places where you can follow podcasts.
Yes, and Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. All those places.
If you follow us on any of these things in particular, let us know. I
feel sorry for you.
He feels sorry for you, and
you have a mental condition. There is something wrong with you if you've been listening for this long and you haven't gone to a therapist.
Wow.
I know I have. No, seriously, she's really good. She's fantastic. We've worked through a lot of issues.
Uh-huh.
And I've become a safer human being because of it.
I doubt that.
Shut up and give us trivia, Scotty.
I was going to do one on the fly. Who shall I do?
Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. This person is Jeff Goldblum. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Woo! I'm on fire.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you a really simple one.
All right.
What movie has won the most Oscars?
I believe it was
No.
Your Mum.
Yes.
In the year of 1969.
You know what's funny? You know what I did last night? Your Mum.
I'm worried where that was going.
You saw it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Adios. Tip your waitresses. I'm here all week.
Don't spank them.
Don't. Yeah. Unless, well, I don't know. People in the bedroom, like, you know, the girl dressed up as a waitress. The guy's like, yeah, let's do this.
But not outdoors.
But if she wants to do it, it's fine.
Not in public.
Yeah. Guy, I'm off. I'm out.
He left a long time ago. I don't know who's taking his place. Bye, guys.